Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Basket, episode 9. I am Daryl, co-host of Chain Out Podcast. You may know me. You may know this guy as well.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm having a great evening. We just had a great conversation about nationals with Daryl and Kevin, and I'm just excited for tonight. It's been a great night so far, and I know it's just going to get better.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Last episode, if you didn't get a chance to go back and watch it because the link wasn't there, but we did have the link posted, and then it's now available on YouTube. We spoke to Andrea Michaud.
Yes.
Longtime supporter of the podcast. We had a great conversation with her. We've had so many great guests on the podcast, Jeremy.
We really
or on
have.
the Around the Basket. In the podcast in general, but on our Around the Basket series. We seem to be going down a little path here that I'm noticing. We seem to be getting the people that support us. We like to have a chat with them. So we've been getting a lot of Patreon members on as guests.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll be able to do that long term, but while the Patreon is at the size that it is, that's probably a good reason for people to join it, because get on there and maybe we'll have a conversation with you. Get you on the pod.
on the pod.
And we're at we're episode 9 too. I can't believe that.
I know.
Almost double digits.
It was like when we were talking about the Chain Out podcast. When we first started, we were hoping, okay, let's get 3 or 4 in the can so that we have a few to release. And then before you know it, we were at 10. Then we were at 20. Now we're already at 9 on Around the Basket.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Who are we gonna have on as episode 10?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, stay tuned. We do know.
Oh, we do know?
Do we? I don't know.
I don't know if we know.
But we have 14 members on our Patreon now, so we thank all of you. And we're up to 329 subscribers on YouTube as well. I think you might hear it first, because I haven't told Jeremy this, but I think this is what we might do. We've talked about it.
Right.
I think our next big giveaway from Chain Out, we've had other giveaways. We've given away discs because they've been given it to us from other guests. That's the word I'm looking for. Other guests that we've had on the podcast, but we haven't done a Chain Out giveaway in a while.
No.
And we're at 329.
Right.
I think maybe 350. What do you reckon?
Well, 350 would be a good one. I'd be up for
350.
that.
Yeah. I don't think we need to stretch it to 500. Maybe if we go 350 for the next giveaway.
All right, you've called it.
There you go.
I think we can.
We're at 329.
Let's get there.
350, and we'll do another giveaway. And our giveaways are good, and our giveaways are getting better and better.
That's right. That is right. And I don't know what's going to happen when we get to a number like 500.
Oh my goodness, Jeremy.
You might get an autographed picture of Chain Out or something.
As a booby prize.
Maybe that's 350. We could maybe pull that off.
Yeah. Should we get to this week's guest?
I think we should. Yeah.
I've
got an intro for our guest.
Yeah.
And before we get there, Patreon people who are listening and watching, be active in the comments. We already see that Sam's in there and jumped in. We love that. So
sorry, Sam's in the chat. The drive for 350. That sounds like my distance hunt.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Well, hopefully everybody's distance hunt can increase with our subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? We're at 350. Oh, we all achieved 350.
And I'm just going to put it out there. Sam is a Patreon member.
Yeah, well, maybe we got another guest in mind.
Stay tuned, Sam. Just keep checking your email. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, this week's guest is a disc golfer, a Patreon member, and an amazing disc dyer. Last year, she played in 22 events, including 6 different leagues. She's not afraid to travel for disc golf and already has Earth Day at the Preserve and the Las Vegas Challenge on her list for 2025. Let's welcome Dinah Talgoy to the Around the Basket.
Yeah. Hi, Dinah. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. I got it right. Dinah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I've been told off quite a few times by Jeremy, by Andrea.
Yeah, we got to that point where when he would say it, I was just ready to be right beside him, and he'd go Dinah, and I'd go Dinah. And now the question is, we got the first name right. Are we getting the last name right as well?
So my married name is Talgoy. Yeah.
Talgoy.
Okay, yeah, look, there we go. Good stuff. Well, we're excited to have you on the show. We've chatted with you on Instagram, on Facebook, and, during the episode chats and that, but this is our first time actually meeting face to face. Are we all you wanted and more? Did we live up to any expectations?
You have low expectations.
I've been watching you guys for a while now, so.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one of a pleasant surprise for us, was when we found out that you'd been watching and you'd be dying discs and you just had us on in the background. Is that kind of how it was working out?
Yeah, I like to have a little bit of like, I don't want to say background noise, but just
Yeah.
you know, what's going on in the background. I'm a little disc golf crazy, so listen to lots and lots of podcasts. Have to admit, I like to watch certain podcasts while practice putting.
Right.
Okay.
So,
It's okay. You can say.
hope I don't sound, mean, especially if you like this disc golfer. But like Tour Life,
Yes.
I like to watch while practice putting because just to have like a very loud voice and be able to concentrate still on practice putting.
Yeah.
Oh, you're practicing on being distracted, like putting under pressure is what you're saying. I'm sure
good
Brody
technique.
would be happy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. One of the things I had noticed there, Dinah, when I was taking a look at some stuff, like you've been a PDGA member since 2021, and you've already played 41 events, like leagues and tournaments and that in 3 years. And so you've been pretty busy. And not only that, you've won 14 events. So you've got like a 1 in 3 win rate. Daryl, like, how's that happen?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any tips on how did you make that happen?
Well, so I signed up in December of 2021. So,
Yeah.
right at the end of the year. But unfortunately, sub comment.
Yeah. Sam, in the chat there, Brody does have that loud sort of constant shout thing.
He does.
Yeah. So, just that way, just get used to if you're not necessarily on a card with some loud people, but sometimes like a neighboring hole that's nearby and they're really loud.
Right.
And I've played with some people that can't even putt or drive or do anything when anyone's nearby, if a car is going by. So I just was like, you know what? We bought the practice putting basket for the basement, some foamy pads, so when I miss, I'm not completely destroying my drywall.
Right.
And just started to listen to lots and lots of podcasts and
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, you were starting out in 2021 and kind of just in December, that's when you got going?
Yeah, basically, I got the PDGA number for signing up for tournaments for 2022.
Yeah.
And so the wins, I have a couple default wins.
Default wins? What's that?
Default. I was the only person in my division.
Oh,
Right.
Hey, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
Yeah,
No win's a win. You
yeah.
had to play, you had to finish. No
Exactly.
DNFs.
And you don't know. There might have been people that saw that you were registered and were just scared to enter the division. So, there's that too.
FA3.
Well, I'll take a win no matter how we can get it. Daryl kind of tried to discount his win that he had last year. And I'm like, you don't discount your win. You won. You went out, you showed up, and you played.
Well, what do you think about when you win? Oh, that's
wait,
right. You haven't won a tournament yet. That's okay. Me and Dina know what that feeling is like.
Yeah, that's right. I have a 0 in 22 rating or something like that. But in one of our chats, you had mentioned that you got a chance to go down to NADGT, and we've got Sam in the chat who just went last year, and I think you went 2 years ago. It sounded like you had a pretty good experience there. Is that something that you think we should try to get to one day?
Highly recommend if you're able to get an invite to go down there. Austin was amazing.
Right.
Fabulous city. We love, my husband and I love Mexican food.
Right.
So we found a lot of taco trucks and like little cantinas
Nice. Yeah.
for lunch or dinner. And at one point we started making it a mission to at least have tacos once a day.
I love it. I'd go on that trip.
I would go on that trip. Yeah.
And did you find
and the courses are gorgeous? So
And there's a lot of them down there too, is there?
There's so many courses in Texas, and in Austin,
Okay.
Right.
where the NADGT championships are held.
How many courses did you get to play?
So in 2023, I played 2 courses. Yeah.
Okay.
As a part of my tournament, and then one of the courses was Zilker, and they were doing a lot of Flex C tiers as
Right.
like an addition to the tournament, which again was so much fun. And then so I had my 2 courses, and then I actually went down to Austin in 2022
Right.
Okay.
for also the NADGT, but I didn't have an invite, so I went as my husband's caddy.
Oh, okay.
So my husband and Kevin and Jason Tay
Yeah.
went down to play MA 40, but in the tournament you played MP 40,
Right.
and
Okay.
that was the tournament that Jason won.
Oh,
Nice.
so you guys were all together for that. You got to be part of that celebration.
Yep.
Nice.
And then got to do some practice rounds with them. So I played Northtown and Wilco,
Okay.
which is such a gorgeous course, but oh my gosh, it was so hard. And then in 2022, all like the extra, again, flex starts and whatnot, was at Live Oak Brewery.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
man, that's just like a full list of courses to add to the list.
Yeah. So, do you enjoy playing a hard course? Does does a challenging hard course feel good to you because you feel like when you make a good throw or make a good, par on a hole, do you feel like you've achieved something as opposed to getting birdies on an easy course?
I don't get a lot of birdies.
Okay. Yeah, neither do I, but
But I like challenging for the division I'm in, if that makes sense.
or let's even talk about not in tournaments. Like if you, like you said, you got to practice those courses when you were down there. So not in a tournament, you're going out to play, you're having fun, but it's a really tough course. Are you still enjoying it because it's a challenge? Or do you ever get to a point where you're like, man, this course is just so hard, I'm not enjoying playing?
Yeah.
No, I'll do the course. The very, very challenging courses, I'm happy it's not sanctioned.
Right.
Again, just a practice round or just going out to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm 100% fine with just going out and having fun or just playing
regardless
the course,
of
just
the score.
Enjoy it. I've last year did the Majestic Amateur and Blue Ribbon Pines.
Yeah, we've heard so many good things about that.
It's 27 holes.
Oh, wow.
Did not know that signing up for the tournament.
Right.
So each round you played was 27? Whoa. Sorry, you get there. Go ahead.
7 holes in that day. So you go to Blue Ribbon Pines, show up to pay to practice, find out it's 27 holes, and I'm like, oh boy. Am I going to have an arm left?
Yes.
Right.
But I still enjoyed it. I like to just celebrate the good shots.
Yeah.
And if there's some, holes that are just really, really tough, and if I'm bogeying it or double bogeying it, oh well.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it is what it is.
I think to kind of piggyback on your question there, Daryl, is that we watched the Manitoba Provincials that Parked Pro put out and really enjoyed that. And my question would be, say you were to open your door right now and you were going to be on one of these 2 courses. So it wasn't a distance thing, because Daryl always has me take that out of the equation, right? So
Sure.
Conditions are perfect. Weather is perfect. You open your door, you walk off your porch, you're at La Barrière or you're at Stony Mountain. Where would you rather be playing?
La Barrière,
Yeah.
because that's just my favorite course in the province.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with hearing how potentially wooded some of those courses at Nationals are going to be, and Amateur Worlds is in the Twin Cities, and they're, again, with the exception of BRP, they're very known for their more woodsy courses.
Okay.
Right.
So I am going to be going to Stony to the wooded holes
Right.
this summer to practice, or this spring to practice.
Well,
Because if I can make those gaps and make those lines,
yeah,
I'll be very, very happy, and I'll feel very prepared.
I would think so, because I know when I saw it on coverage there, some of those holes distance wise don't appear to be that long, but they were chewing up that lead card, like Jason and Marshall and Brian Freese, all of those guys were struggling with some of those holes.
Yeah. The big open holes in the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Again, people with the big arms love those holes, but the wooded holes, it is really tight.
Right.
Wow. Well, and there was even the one too that was right beside the highway, where it was like a line of trees, and the highway, the road's out of bounds. It was like, how do you throw something that straight? Like, it's almost impossible. And you see them doing those big forearms or forehands and getting there.
Yeah.
But cool. But you know what, Dina?
It's almost a forehand mandatory hole.
Yeah, it forces it. Hey? Well, why don't we kind of get into some of the stuff that you know more about than probably the two of us combined?
Absolutely.
And that's like, let's chat about some disc dyeing. So how long have you been doing it?
Started to dye spring of 2021.
Okay.
So it was still in the pandemic.
Right.
Started to play disc golf after Ultimate was canceled in 2020. Really only picked up a disc golf disc in the fall of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Played a bit in the winter. Kind of was starting to like it, and then spring came, and again there was just not a lot that we could do other than disc golf.
Right.
So I've always been kind of liking the lots of little crafty type things, and my husband mentioned it. And then I went down the rabbit hole of watching probably 100 hours of YouTube to try and figure out all these different tutorials, because there's a lot of different methods.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just went from there.
Out of all those tutorials that you watched and all those different methods, do you have a preferred method that what is your preferred go-to style of dyeing?
So right now I mainly do glue bed dyes.
Right.
Starting to dabble a little bit in stencils. Just recently got a vinyl cutter.
Right.
And yeah, so the stencils, again, still I find you need to get a lot of practice just to get everything just right. Like the ratios, how much time you want the dye sitting on the disc, and you wipe it off and it's just like, not dark enough. Okay, put more dye on. Most people use a little bit of like a heat lamp or a heat source to the dye tends to absorb into the disc a little quicker when there's heat. And yeah, so it's just a lot of trial and error right now. But for majority of my discs, I really like the glue bed dyes.
Right. Do you want to grab that purple rock behind you there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure everybody is kind of, when you get into disc dyeing, you see all these when you get into playing disc golf, you see all these gorgeous looking discs that have been dyed by professionals, and you think, well, I'm going to have a go at that. Mm-hmm. I've dyed one or two discs in my day, and then I tried a hot stamp, in the black, and like you said about that vinyl cutter, get a vinyl cutter. Yeah. Don't use a scalpel and a ruler to try and do it, because it bleeds over everywhere. It might look good on camera right here, but when you look up close, you can see smudge marks, you can see bleed lines. Yeah, but that's an ace disc, Jeremy.
Yeah,
just put that away.
One of the ace discs. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So now, to me, like, I've been playing for quite a bit, and I've done some crafts and stuff, but it's just never come across to me of jumping into dyeing discs. So like, what was it that like attracts you guys about doing it? Because I don't know that I would. I love the look of them and I want them all.
Right.
I just don't know that I would take the time, because it's not a quick thing, right? Like, it
No.
takes work. Or
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll let
Yeah,
the
it takes
let the professional speak more on
Takes a bit of
than what
time.
I've done.
yeah,
Because it's not like you're dyeing a disc, you dye it, you wipe it off, and then you can go out and throw it.
Right.
Like if you're going to dye it, if you're going to put it in the glue bed, I'm sure that you probably have a certain. And again, if you put it under the heat lamp, you can reduce that time. But I think what I was doing was probably 24 hours of leaving it in the glue bed. So
Okay.
yeah, if you dye a disc, you've got a tray or a dish or whatever you're using to dye the disc. You've got it in there. You could do 2 or 3, but then that's space taking up by dyeing those 2 or 3 discs. So you can't do any more. You can't rush it, and then you've got to wait 24 hours before you can see the results. And then even then, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad. You have to. It's a 24-hour tense waiting period. I mean, at least when I was doing it, I don't know what the results I was getting out of it. But do you want to speak a little bit more to the process that you go through?
So for glue bed, I don't use heat. Once I lay the disc in the pan or the bed,
Yeah.
between 20 to 24 hours.
Right.
It's sitting on edge of my dining room table. I'm not the best spot for it, but
No.
in the corner, no one's going to disturb it. No one's going to touch it. And yeah, and then no peeking, because once you start to take it, like lift it from the glue bed, you can't just, oh, never mind, put
Yeah,
it back.
no.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So once you start taking it out, it's all or nothing.
Well,
I got a question for you on that.
yeah.
So I always think that, the amount of glue the clear glue that you put down, then you drop the dye in, then you make the pattern, you put the disc in, you pull it out. It just seems like there's so much glue and dye left behind when you pull that disc out. Have you ever been tempted to just see what happens if you put another disc in the same glue bed? Is that possible? Is there any dye left in that will actually take to another disc?
Not much. Most of the dye sticks to the disc.
Right. Okay.
So certain colors will kind of, I don't want to say sink, but we'll start to get into the regular part of the bed. So sometimes, again, dependent, I'll just top up the glue a little bit, and
Right.
then I can reuse it.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. Sam in the chat here is saying that he's reused a bed. So maybe the same thing as what you're saying, putting a little bit extra glue, maybe you're just topping up the dye again and then doing another disc, which is good. That's what I've always thought. I mean, I don't know what the results would be like, because when you lift the disc up, the whole pattern kind of shifts a little bit as you're pulling it out of the glue. So what that second disc would look like. But yeah, just always thought that it was a waste, not a waste, but it was a lot of glue that once you're done with that disc, you got to tip that away or, dispose of it. So, yeah.
I do find there's a lot of air bubbles that appear, at least for me, when I'm pulling it out.
Right.
So I use a little a creme brulee torch to
Yeah.
get the big air bubbles out. And then even when I'm pouring out of the glue bottle into the pan,
Yeah.
I'll take a toothpick, and the
Yeah.
little tiny bubbles, I'll try to scoop them out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's
how
honestly
you
that's
level
probably
up,
the most
right?
Yeah.
labor part of the whole process. Some people really like the air bubbles.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it for the look I'm trying to go for. But I know some people really like it, especially if they're trying to do some more of a galaxy or space design. It can look really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and how did you get to your design? Was that just trial and error of what you like? Because you have a very great design, and it's unique. And the thing that I like about it is at least the discs I've seen that you've posted in that, is that you'll have multiple colors, and they'll there's a bit of symmetry to your discs in that, and I really like them. How did you come up with that? Is that just just trial and error, or?
Yeah, trial and error. I follow a lot of disc dyers on Instagram, and I really liked certain and they would put they would show on Instagram like their methods of like how they like drag either the lotion or the glue.
Right.
And I really like that ribbony look, if that makes sense. But I didn't like how it would just go up and down the disc because the disc
Right.
is circular.
Right.
And and same thing, I like that a bit more symmetry. With glue, you can't be 100% symmetrical, if that makes sense. Every time you pull or make a drag or pulling or dragging the toothpick across or making a line or making a bit of, I do a lot of, years ago, I was doing a lot of figure eights.
Okay.
With my hands. And yeah, so I like the kind of like more of that symmetrical pattern, but it'll never be exactly like 100%.
Right.
Yeah, because the glue kind of shifts and moves in a little bit, and then you try to straighten it out, and it's like, oh, something happened on that side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like I'm guessing once you've done that, you are now set, and you need to live with what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because there is no, I'll just undrag it. I'll drag it back the other way, and everything will go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would work that way.
One thing that I struggled with is you put the glue down, you put your pattern down, you start off in the center, you make your ring or your whatever design you're going to do. So you've got it set out. And like Dina was saying, is it when you're dragging through the glue, the pattern kind of shifts a little bit. So it's not necessarily always directly in the middle.
Okay.
Then you've got to take your disc and line it up so that when you put it in the glue, it is now, so you might not be in the center of the pan. It might be just slightly to the right because that might be where the center of the design is.
Yeah.
So trying to get it lined up. I've dyed a few discs and I've pulled it out and it's like, why is it all over to one side? I mean, that can look good. I've seen some offset designs where when you throw them, they kind of have that, kind of a spinning flow to them.
Sam?
Sam has a couple questions here. Any colors that you avoid or ones that you have come out differently than you expected?
For glue bed dyes, I'm not a fan of, so Pro Chemical and Dye is the powder.
Right. Okay, well, we don't know what happened there, Jeremy.
No, that was interesting. Hey,
That was
a first for us.
That was a yeah. Sorry about that.
The takes were getting so hot that the system couldn't handle
couldn't handle it. Just decided I wasn't going to play anymore. But didn't mean to cut you off. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry, you were saying
with the
okay.
dyes, the
colors that you maybe haven't used.
Yeah. So Pro Chemical and Dye is mainly what I use for the. It's a powder dye specifically for disc dyeing.
Okay.
And they make a line of colors they refer to as the neon colors. And for the mixing with acetone for glue bed dyes, just for whatever reason doesn't work.
Right.
So if anyone has any kind of magical recipe for how to make it work, let me know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Now, another thing too, when we're talking about your dyes, like, doing them for yourself, that's great. That's fantastic. But you also actually have them with Jason at Disc Republic as well. Like you've been able to make a business out of it. Now, is it more of a labor of love, or is it something where you've gotten to a point where you can actually maybe put something in your pocket or at least pay for supplies or something like that?
No, it's more labor, passion project, labor love. I just try to recoup my costs after buying the disc, the supplies, and then just a few dollars really is what I make off a disc, and then I turn around and buy more
some more.
discs to, yeah, and just this cycle.
You mentioned to us that Disc Republic, you mentioned Jason there. You were about 5 minute walk from Disc Republic, so you end up spending a lot of time there?
About a 5-minute drive, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're really close.
Yeah, we were pretty impressed there when we had him on and he did that little tour of the store and how it's kind of leveled up to where it is at this point. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Looks like we got some disc dyers in our chat here. Dylan and Sam, regular guests. They've got quite a few questions here.
Yeah.
Sam mentioned that a dye bed is a living thing. You have to work with it, listen to its needs, make friends with it. He really paints a picture of, what goes into creating a dye.
Sounds like people with their plants, right? Where you have to talk to it and sing to it.
Exactly. Dylan said that he's been wanting to get a Cricut cutter printer for a while, so he's dyed some discs as well. He said that his dye method is silicone oil in Floetrol. Now I've seen people do Floetrol.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've seen people do Floetrol designs. Yeah, that's a stage too far for me. I ventured barely into lotion dyes.
Okay.
I think I did one, and I was like, no, I cannot get this consistency right. But he's I've seen a few of his discs as well.
For me, I just can't get Floetrol. It's so and even if it's just so expensive.
Right.
Okay.
It's really, really pricey. I follow lots of disc dyers on Instagram, follow a bunch of Facebook groups, and when I see the big jugs of Floetrol, I've tried to buy it on like Amazon, and it's just so expensive. Disc Republic was selling it for a little bit. Again, not too sure if there's certain either supply chain issues or certain
maybe it's just not a hot seller. Yeah. And that goes back to what you were saying. You're doing it as a passion project, just making a couple bucks each disc. When you're selling them, like, the other people on Instagram that are selling them, they're giving them to all the pros to get them, throwing their discs and things like that. Maybe it's a little bit worthwhile investing in these more expensive products because, hopefully you can recuperate that on, the next 7 or 8 discs that you've, you're hoping to sell, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dylan said that he's been finding Floetrol at Lowe's, and he said it is pricey though. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong chat. $43 a gallon, Jeremy.
Holy crow! And then how many discs could you do with a gallon of Floetrol? Do you think?
We'll ask Dylan because he's been using it.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I got a question though.
Go for it.
So your discs are out there. They're on Disc Republic. You can buy them. We're waiting on a mail call, which could actually be sitting at my house, I think, as I'm here at your house.
Yeah.
But we can't wait. Maybe that'll be next week. We'll be able to do some show and tell. But have you seen any of your discs show up in the hands of anybody that you were surprised to see them in, or maybe not so surprised? Like, have you had a Chantal Badinsky or a Sophia or somebody like that? Hey, that's my disc. I wonder how they got that one. Have you, or seen them out in the wild just when you're out at a disc golf course?
Seen a few out in the wild. All of a sudden, look over a guy on my card and someone said, "Oh, hey, that's a really nice disc." I look over and I'm like, "Oh, that's the harp I just died like a month ago."
That's awesome.
Would love to dye disc for Chantal or Sophia, or
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
and any of the ladies,
for sure.
I think you might have to just send it to them.
Start that way.
I think when you get to that level of pro, I don't think they buy discs anymore, do they?
Well, maybe, you never know.
I don't think they're on Disc Republic added into cart.
Maybe they do trades.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do trade.
Maybe there's a PA5 trade for a dyed PA5 or something like that.
Maybe,
a signed one for a dyed one. Are you able to easily identify yours because of the style you've created? Like, if you see one out there, do you know right away? Is it like, these are all my babies and I love each one of them individually and they were hard to separate with, so if I see one, I know exactly what it is? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, especially this past year, when I've kind of like started tweaking that symmetrical style or the certain colors, and also I've been dyeing a ton of MVP discs
Okay, yeah.
Right.
because they're really popular right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So
I know a guy who likes some of those MVP Axiom discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. With those ones too, like I guess I didn't ask this one. Does the dye not stick to the stamps that are on there, or do you actually cover up the stamps and cut those? Like, how do you make it when the stamp still shouts out through the dye? I've always wondered that.
so the acetone. So after you drop the acetone slash dye mixture
Yeah.
onto the glue bed, about within 5 or so minutes, the acetone evaporates off and it leaves the dye. So it leaves leaves the stamp intact.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you?
I had a bunch of dyes where I wanted to mask a certain area, or
Right.
this past summer I did an Innova racer.
Okay.
Good disc.
So the stamp looks like it's got this kind of twisty snake in the middle. So I
Right.
wanted to keep this that middle stamp white. So I took white glue, thick layer, covered the parts that I not dyed,
Right.
and let that thing dry for a good 3 days, sometimes even longer, because I want it to be
Wow.
dry. Sometimes I
Right.
even do a second layer.
Mm.
Let that dry for another 3 days.
Right.
Because then I make the glue bed as per usual, put the disc in, or
Yeah.
sorry, the disc into the pan, and then again it's in there for 22-ish hours. Within the 22 hours, the white glue that was dried up starts almost like reconstitute.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I take the disc out and you just wash it off, sometimes I have to run it over water for a good couple minutes, and then the white glue just kind of just falls off.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought about how people do that, and they mask off certain areas, and I always thought they did it with vinyl, but I guess white glue is so easy because you can really tactile put it on exactly on the areas that you want to save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
We have-
can. Some people do contact paper or again vinyl. My issue, you're cutting it with a really really sharp, almost X-Acto or scalpel type sharp knife,
Yeah.
Okay.
and a few times I have cut into the disc
Yeah.
by accident.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I prefer
We,
glue.
we had another question from Sam. Sam's really active, and I know he likes dyeing, so this is a perfect guest for Sam. Any plastics you like or dislike working with? And I know kind of Jeremy. Well, from what I know, is that base plastic discs are tend to not be good, if I'm correct in that, or maybe not even base plastic. Sorry, I'll take that back. Some base plastics, and I think Castoplast is not very good. But I'll let you carry on because I think I'm now stumbling over my words.
So base plastic won't take on dye, or at least
Right.
not
Okay.
very
So it
well.
was. Yeah. Okay.
I've seen some pictures online where someone's tried to dye like a DX something, and it took a little bit, but then it faded within a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's
Stay
just
away from base plastics.
unfortunately a bit of a waste of materials.
Right. So
For
plastics
certain
that you like.
plastics I don't like,
Yeah.
yeah, cast is a tough one, and Prodigy is a tough one.
Oh, okay.
Reason is those manufacturers, from what I'm told in the manufacturing process, they use a lot of silicone release oil,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
and it leaves this invisible film. Like, and you have to wash your disc before you dye.
Right.
I once dyed a Svea for a friend. I washed that disc 6 times.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I did see
Just
you had
'cause
some success
just
with the.
had to really get that clear stuff off. Because then,
Okay.
of course, you dye the disc, you take it out, you wipe it off, and it's almost like the disc was dirty,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
the dye almost started taking, but it didn't, and it looks almost filmy.
Right.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
if you if you followed us on Instagram, or even I think we've mentioned it on the podcast quite a while ago, maybe sometime back in the beginning of summer. We had a local disc dyer went to Rundle League with us. Cam Solo Dies, give him a quick shout out.
Yes.
I commissioned a set of 3 discs for me, you, and our buddy Mark. But I also got him at the same time to dye a disc for my girlfriend Sonia, and it was a Berg, because I was heavily into Bergs back then, and I got her into Bergs as well. And he didn't want to dye it because it was a Berg. He said he's done Bergs before, and then 6 months later, like you said, it almost looks like it all just faded out.
The K1 soft plastic, especially,
Yeah,
takes on again once if you dye it well, get that clean the disc really well, it dyes well. It fades pretty quick
right.
for some reason. Yeah, I'm a Berg fan, but yeah.
So it's good advice you're giving to Sam, because he said this is great because he just got a Rask and he was going to dye it, and now he's not going to, well, he knows what he's going to have to do to work with it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Rask is the one with the little
thumb track?
indentations.
Yeah. I think yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did to my Bergs, because yeah, I love my Bergs.
Yeah.
I did shaving cream.
Right.
Okay. And did that seem to take a bit better?
Takes just as well. Does again fade over time. Actually, I have an example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Daryl used to say it's always a Berg.
That was my saying for a long time.
So with this shaving cream method, I do the cone. So you in your pan, or ideally an ultimate disc.
Okay.
Right. That's all they're good for.
You make your mountain cone of shaving cream, sprinkle the powdered dye straight onto the shaving cream. Some people spritz a little bit of water, to a personal preference. So I did this just before Worlds last year, so June
Okay.
was Masters Worlds, yeah. And this makes,
Okay.
sorry, trying to get it onto the camera.
Yeah.
Just pull it back in front of your face. I know that. There you go.
There, yeah.
See, to me, I mean, it's hard to see. It's hard to say because we don't know what the beginning design was
it was
like.
a bit
right?
brighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good. It looks gorgeous, peach and pink, and
Yellow
a little bit of
and-
yellow there as well for people that are listening. Well, I guess we don't put these out on audio podcast, do we, Jeremy? But yeah, I mean, it still looks good. But you're saying it faded over time, so yeah,
Yeah. All dye discs will fade over time, though.
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and it was interesting with one of the discs. So one of the first discs I ever found when I got into disc golf was a heat, and it was a very soft, almost rubbery heat, and it was buried out at Jubilee under leaves, and it didn't have a name on it. I didn't even know you could get discs back to people at that point.
Right.
So I kept that disc and I had it, and then Daryl, you dyed it for me, and he dyed it with an Edmonton Elks symbol on it because my kid and my wife like to throw it, and they like the Elks. And then what we found over time was it actually dyed all the way through to the bottom, which I thought was pretty interesting. Have you ever seen that happen before?
Yep.
Okay. Just
The dye will migrate, and again, over time, the softer plastics a little quicker,
okay.
and it'll start to almost not spread, but almost like it gets blurry.
Oh,
right. Wasn't something I did
And
wrong.
then it will,
no. But yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. Now, we know that you will do discs and you'll put them out at Disc Republic to sell. Can people also message you and like put in requests, and do you do things like that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sold to bunch of people. Just message me on Instagram. Um, I, again, in my earlier days, I took one request, and person unfortunately asked for something very subtle.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't do subtle.
big and bold.
You're like, you either
Yeah,
like what I do or you don't. That's kind of how it goes, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Definitely, like, look at my stuff I've done, and again, I love bright colors. Love pink and purple, but I know I can't dye every disc that color. So
Well, we
yeah,
know there's someone that you know that
like
likes pink and
vibrance.
purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. What else do we have on the discs? I had so many questions.
Yeah, I've
she's
been-
answering them all for me
Yeah,
too.
I know. I've been looking at the chat as well.
Yeah, like there's a lot of good comments in there. And I'm thinking, so for everybody who doesn't know, we've actually worked with you and we've got some discs coming and we're excited. We wanted to be able to show them off tonight,
Yeah,
but we have a couple that we got for ourselves.
we did. Yeah,
And
you had messaged us on Facebook saying that you knew that I was an Innova person and Jeremy liked his MVP Axiom.
yeah,
You showed us the blanks that you had and you just kind of offered up and we were like, yeah, let's do it. We're happy that you supported us. We would love to support you as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that you had. Do we say what discs they were?
I think we can save that. We could say it's probably not hard to guess that there's a couple MVP Axiom discs and maybe a couple Innova discs.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully they're here. Like you said, they may be sitting at your house instead of being here. But I mean, they may not be here yet. We don't know
Yeah.
yet. But we'll definitely, hopefully, have them by next week's episode. So we'll let you know how they turned out.
And not only that, we'll let everyone know that we couldn't just get discs for ourselves.
Exactly.
So there is another disc coming, and it probably fits with one of the biggest signings of the year so far. Was Isaac going to Lat 64? Oh, did I say too much?
Stay tuned for the giveaway.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully we could do that for next week. Now, Daryl, do you want to kind of move on to one of the other topics, or do you want to go right into the... What are you thinking?
We can. How are you for time, Dina?
I'm good.
You're good. We can touch on this. We can talk about this a little bit.
Okay, so why don't you jump in there? And I think we just grab one of them, maybe.
You want to go for this one right here?
Whichever one you're up for. I'm that easy.
Yeah. So we know you like you're dying. Speaking of discs, something that recently just caught my eye watching over social media, and I want to get the chat's opinion on this as well. Are we getting to a point now where there's too many disc type combinations? And what I mean by that is, and I'll give you the two examples that I wrote down, is that we're now seeing the new tour series coming out from Innova, and one of the discs is a Halo, Champion, Proto, Glow. It's not just a Halo disc anymore. It's not just in Champion plastic. Now you're getting its Halo, Champion, Proto, Glow. Like, where does the combination of, they've got all these plastics, and I'll give you another one as well from MVP. It's a particle glow proton plastic now.
Right.
So where do we, is it Halo Star Proto Glow? Is it Halo Champion Proto Glow? Is it Halo G-Star Proto Glow? Like, where does the combination of, and does it really matter? If you have a Halo Champion Proto Glow and a Halo Champion not Proto Glow, do they fly differently?
Yeah. It's a good question. Discuss. I'm going to throw this out there to you and Dina, and I'd like you to discuss it. Well, I don't know. Why don't you start, Dina? Do you have any thoughts? Or what are you thinking about that? Because, with the amount of time that you've been playing, you've seen that stuff come along. And just like what Daryl's saying, you got like a particle glow proton. And at the beginning, it was like, here's a neutron. Here's an electron.
Yeah.
Here's a glow. And now we're going to start combining. And then we're going to add more and recombine. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Is that just sales techniques? Do you think it makes a difference?
Bit of sales, probably.
Yeah.
Because, again, they're disc manufacturer. They want people to buy discs.
Right.
That's the business that they're in. I have not heard of that Champion Halo
Proto Glow.
Glow.
Yeah. So the
I've
Proto
not heard
Glow.
of that.
Yeah, the Proto Glow is their new glow plastic. It's meant to be brighter than their other previous glows.
Yeah.
But now that you can get that in a Halo Champion plastic as well. So
Well, I think this is what I will tell you. What I think about it is, yeah, maybe it doesn't make a ton of difference. I know, and it's everyone will say it does, and maybe it's in our heads and that. Like I always say, I'm not good enough and I'm not consistent enough. Because you could give me this disc, and ask me to throw it the same way 10 times. I can't do it.
Right.
Right? So how am I supposed to tell you, oh, yeah, that one's way more overstable than this? Well, maybe I just threw it on Heiser. I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
But what I will tell you is I think the disc plastics are getting better. So to me, the Innova with the halos, I really like the look of that. It gives it that really cool two-tone. It's almost like a sunbeam around it. And I just saw that, I don't know if you both did see it, but that particle glow that Daryl's talking about, it looks
Particle
like
Glow Proton.
Particle glow proton. There's like little tiny flecks of glow inside the disc. So for me, at one point, I know they're just trying to get my money, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to spend my money on that.
So, I will admit, I bought the Proton, Sparkle Glow?
Yeah, particle, yeah.
Particle Glow.
was-
Yeah.
So I saw it was Jeremy Colling's new disc with
Right.
MVP, and big fan of his.
Yeah.
So, and then I saw that he mentioned something on another one of the podcasts he was doing after the signing was announced,
Yes.
and they said something about, oh, your new disc, they're coming out with something with Metal Flake, and I'm like, Metal Flake, I'm fine. And then I saw the picture online when it came up, and I said, it's glowing glitter.
Yes.
Sold. And it's got a dragonfly on the top.
Yeah.
Sold.
Has it already
It is
arrived,
beautiful.
or are you waiting for it still?
I pre-ordered it at Disc Republic.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. No, they look pretty good. And I think is it a tempo? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Tempo.
Yeah. His is
Okay.
a tempo, yeah.
There you go.
Dylan in the chat ends it with 2 words. Never enough.
Never enough. Well, what
He
we-
says the endless combinations is the best part.
Oh,
So
there
I mean,
you go.
does that get to a point where if you're a disc collector, you have to get a tempo in
Right now we
neutron plastic, in electron plastic, in proton plastic, in particle glow proton plastic, in cosmic neutron, in whatever, there's so many different combinations for one disc. That's the point
Right.
I'm getting at. But then again, Sam is one of those people that just says, I mean, if they make an Explorer in it, I'll buy it. If you like that disc, no matter where it comes and whatever plastic it's in, people that like that disc are going to buy it, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that maybe it would? Or go ahead, Dina.
I was just gonna say, for me, it's just throw what you love,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if it gets you outside throwing, enjoying, and you're throwing the new whatever. I don't have a problem with it.
I think I especially don't have a problem if it's like a Dina dyed disc. Then just whichever
Well,
one
you
you
wouldn't.
want.
Yeah.
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 Well, and I wonder too. What do you guys think if maybe should they make some of those ones exclusive, like do limited runs of those plastics, or is that not in the best interest of the disc golf company? Like to go and say, yeah, we've got this particle glow proton. We're going to do the Hex, the Crave, a lot of the popular discs, the Tempo they do, and we're going to do this run. And when they're gone, it's going like into the vault. Like we're going to
I
put
think
that
that's why
plastic in the vault.
They used to do that because well, I shouldn't say they used to do that. It's like Simon's time lapse. When it first came out, it was only available in
Proton, I think, right?
no,
Or
not-
Neutron.
But now that it's been out for a while and it's sold thousands of, hundreds, thousands, whatever of discs, now they say, oh, now it's available in Electron or Prism Proton or whatever the Innova or the Axiom. But they've done it for a while. Like the Pyro, I think the Pyro was only available in a certain plastic for a while,
Okay.
and now they're like, when Eagle, not the Pyro, sorry, the Envy,
Gotcha.
when Eagle signed over for Axiom, he got his Envy and it was in Proton plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Or now maybe I'm thinking about,
I remember the one that you had that one, didn't you?
maybe it was, yeah, I do have that one,
Yeah.
yeah. But for a while, those discs were only available in certain plastics.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've started to make them, oh, now this is available in this type of plastic. So I think having a disc in only a certain plastic and then doing those limited runs, I think that makes more sense. But now it just seems like every disc is coming out in every different combination. So it's like, okay, what do you like? I like a T-Bird. Okay, how do you like your T-Bird? G-Star, G-Star Halo, G-Star Halo Protoplastic, Proton, you know, it's almost like...
What kind of like what happened with the early McDonald's
Yeah.
was you got a burger, did you want cheese on it? And you
Always
got
going to
fries.
bring it back to food, don't you?
Yeah, that's what it was. But now you can get a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, a chicken, a McLobster. It depends. You know, you can get everything. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think I like it. I think people. Say.
Yeah, I think Dina's saying it. Dylan and Sam are saying it. If people like it, they're going to buy it.
Yeah. And throw what you love. I like that idea too. If they're, instead just make sure you keep asking them for what you want and get more and more of that out there.
I think it's just FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I've got 4 or 5 T-Birds.
Right.
But I've never been I've never been a buyer of, I shouldn't say never. I'm going away from buying Tour Series discs or buying discs with names on. Because we had this discussion about Ken Climo. Right. Would I be buying a disc because it says Ken Climo on it? Would I be buying a pair of skates because it says Connor McDavid on it? Never mind. Totally don't know where I was going with that train of thought.
I think that's where we hand it back to Dina because I think she had something to say about it. No?
Yeah.
But I don't know with the different plastics and stuff. I think it's cool. I think as long as they keep coming up with new and exciting ones, I'm going to end up buying them.
So I guess just getting caught up with the chat here. Sam has said the worst part is being late to the game, like I said about FOMO. And then you're trying to track down out of production molds. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, and like Dina said, she got on there, ordered that Dragonfly Tempo Jeremy Colling disc because they're all going to be sold out in the first day or two. Mm-hmm. Then you didn't get one, and then everyone is going to be throwing it, saying, "Oh man, it's the best disc ever. You want to get one?" And then you have to wait to try and track it down when it gets released again, right?
It's almost like they know how to sell to us.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what Dylan is saying. They got to keep doing it, otherwise the companies can't keep growing.
Yeah, that's right. Like if you decide, I've got all the discs, I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Then how's the sport going to grow? I think I got to add to this. I think one of the ways the sport's got to grow. Like we had Andrea on last week, and we heard about all the wonderful things she's doing with the tournaments, right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
Dylan said it's 9:30. Don't tease McDonald's. Sorry, Dina.
But I think, guys, and I know Dylan in the chat, that's awesome, buddy, and I know you're famous for already doing this, is that let's go out and buy those discs if we have the luxury and the pockets and everything else to do it, because there is a cost as well to it. But let's try and take some of those old discs and let's get them back out, and then that's it. Like put a number for yourself, say 100 discs, that's it. 50 discs, that's it. And then your 101 means one has to come out, and if you can't take it out, then I don't know, don't buy a new one. What do you say to that?
Might work for me and you, but
yeah, so
okay.
I have a few.
Yeah, you got a few as well. I see a couple behind you there.
You can see I'm behind.
Yeah. Well, and dyeing them's a different story because you're dyeing them, you're moving them along. You're already doing that. You're getting them into the hands of people and hopefully they're enjoying and playing with them. So,
yeah.
Well, one thing I do with all the tournaments that I've been doing, again, with being an amateur, the players packs usually get a disc, sometimes even 2.
Right.
Yes.
If you win a CTP or longest putt, usually it's another disc. So I try lately, if I can't get a white dyeable disc,
right,
which doesn't happen too often, I try to get something really neutral, if I can, a little bit lighter weight sometimes, if again possible. but something really beginner friendly. And then started a box, and then just. Oh,
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, we're still here. Are you
Yep.
there?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So
I
yeah.
thought there was some static.
Oh, yeah. No.
So
beginner friendly
trying to
type
put him
disc.
in a box off to the side, just and then every couple months, put out my weekly broadcast to family, friends, coworkers. To if you ever want to try playing disc golf,
I've got a
I got a
set
bunch
ready
of
for you.
Yeah.
ready to go.
Well, that's good because, even with us, we're going to be we have a tournament coming up here called Tundra Toss that I'll be playing in, and then Daryl's probably going to be supporting it as well. But all the people who are going in, they've already announced that they're going to give away hexes. And I can tell you, I own a lot of hexes and I love them, but I'm sure getting one of those hexes that's a great beginner disc, I may keep the one I get from Tundra Toss, and another one can come out and it can go into a pile similar to what Dinah's saying, where you got a new person who wants to play, you're like, here's a hex, and I'm always talking MVP world, right? So, or Axiom, here's a hex, here's a crave, and here's a envy, and you should be set to start, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Okay, I think we've decided that more discs is better.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. We all agree. The chat agrees.
I don't
Dinah
agree.
agrees. We agree.
No, I don't agree.
Oh,
We
you
can't-
don't agree?
No.
Well,
Okay.
Dinah, we got you've been watching the podcast, and you've been kind of working with Around the Basket, and we were doing Disc Dull at the start, and now we're doing Disc Dull in the chat, and that's been fun there. We did Family Feud. I did come up with something new. I've got Disc Golf Jeopardy for you. So are you a Jeopardy fan at all? Did you ever watch it? Or are you familiar with it?
Jeopardy, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fairly familiar.
Okay. So what I've got
Not great
is
at it.
well, hopefully I've tried to it's hard not to do it where Daryl's going to have an advantage because he knows a lot about our podcast and that when I try to ask those questions.
Well, I'm on it. I should.
Yeah, he's on it. He should know, but maybe I've got some that'll stump him in there and that you'll be able to steal on him. But what I've done is I've created 5 topics, and normally there's a buzzer system where you buzz in to do the answer, but I'm just going to do a back and forth type situation. So say you start, you get to pick a topic in the dollar amount you want to guess. You get to put your guess in. If you've got it right, it goes to Daryl. If you get it wrong, Daryl gets a chance to guess, and then he would pick the next one. And we'll just go back and forth that way. And I do have some final Jeopardy to really see if it starts to get kind of spread out where you're really kicking Daryl's butt, then Daryl will have a chance to try and come back, okay?
Let's get into it.
So-
The rules will be good as when we explain it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, you betcha. So we're going to put this Jeopardy board up, and Daryl's going to get that in front of us here, and I'm going to read out what the topics are. And you need to get to the slideshow. Back up, back up, back up. Where are you going to go? Go, click to. Hang on, don't look at that. We got to go. All right, hang on. Here we are.
Okay.
So on our Jeopardy board,
didn't
we've
see
got
anything.
5 topics here, Daryl. You want to put that up on the screen?
There it is.
We have Manitoba Disc Golfers is
Oh.
a section.
Like I know any Manitoba disc golfers.
And to balance that out, we have Alberta Disc Golfers.
Okay, I might not do so bad in that.
We have Chain Out Guests.
Okay,
We have Canadian A tiers.
okay.
And then we have catchphrases that came from the show. And when we get to catchphrases, there's a few there where you could answer who was on the show or maybe who said it. There's a couple different options for that. And we've got choices from $100 up to $500. Dina, we want to let you start with the board.
Okay.
And I'm going to do my best to keep my score here. So, Dina, we're starting on the board here. What topic would you like to pick, and what dollar amount would you like to go for?
Let's try with Canadian A tiers for 100.
Canadian A tiers for 100. Daryl, if you pull that up for us.
I have to click on that one there,
Yes,
right?
click on 100. One of the first A tiers of the year, you can meet a lovable dog named Arthur there. Go ahead and make sure to phrase your answer in the form of a question, Dina. And I don't think I did it very well in the fact that 500 sometimes could be easier than 100. The ease of them, don't think this is the easiest because they do change.
So Dylan wants to know that you came prepared. Is this real money?
No, this
I
is
hope
not
not.
real money. So what do you think?
What happened to 5 seconds? Or was that just for me?
No, I'm giving you 5 seconds. So after that, I do it to keep the
Oh,
game moving
boy.
along. So you're going to have to throw out a guess or I'll buzz
Okay,
you out.
I know Foxwood is in May. I don't remember a dog named Arthur when I did that course in 2022, though.
So what
But
would your
let's
answer be?
go with Foxwood.
What is Foxwood, she says?
What is Foxwood?
Sorry, that is incorrect, Daryl. Would you like to try and make $100 here?
I know this one. This
Okay.
would be what is spring runoff?
Yes, that is correct, Daryl, with 100 on the board. We will not let either of you go below 0. So
it was a little bit of a disadvantage.
Okay.
I did play in that tournament, and I got to pet Arthur. So
Okay, so
how do I get back?
what you do now is in the bottom you see click to see answer,
Okay.
and you can see what is spring runoff. Now you can click.
It doesn't say
return.
what is spring runoff.
Well, that's why you have a host. What else would I
Okay.
do?
Click to go back.
So
Okay.
Daryl, it's your turn. What would you choose off the board there?
So Jeremy did tell me before that it doesn't take off the $100.
So I have that
Jeremy
noted.
remembers it. So
Yes.
let's go for Canadian A tiers for 200.
Canadian A tiers for 200. What a good choice. Let's see the question. Double disc court until the wee hours of the morning. Daryl, do you know what that one would be?
What is the discipline that was played at
This
the
is-
Yukon?
This is Canadian A tiers. The answer would be a Canadian A tier.
Oh, okay. Larger than life.
What is
What
larger than
is
life?
larger than life? Sorry.
All right, let's take a look. Daryl, you're on the board for $200. We will turn it back. Oh, did you know that one, Dina?
Pretty sure I remember hearing that on the
podcast?
recap. Yeah.
All right, it's back to you, Dina. Which one would you like to choose?
Can I just say that Sam said, "What is the Yukon dealie?" Go ahead, Dina. What's your
Okay, I gotta make some money. Manitoba disc golfers, 100.
For how many?
For 100.
For 100. Okay.
Manitoba disc golfers for 100.
And Manitoba disc golfers for 100. He was the 2016 PDGA Rookie of the Year.
Who is Brian Fries?
Bing, 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 bing. Look
Straight
at
in there.
that.
I mean, that would be my guess.
Well, there you go. And of course, just the way we're doing this back and forth, Daryl, it will be your turn to go with the board. Because we don't
Let's
have
go
buzzers.
Canadian A tiers for 300.
Canadian A tiers for 300. Let's see the answer. Project 15, Haute Goat, Newcastle, Cedar Rapids.
What is Canadian Nationals?
Let's take a look, and I think you are correct, sir. Canadian Nationals, the RIP would have also been acceptable.
Back over to
Back
you,
to
Dina.
you, Dina. Daryl's at $600. Dina, you're at $100, and you do not have to answer them in order, I don't think.
No,
You can answer
you
them.
can jumble them around.
Okay, let's do Canadian A tiers 400.
Canadian A tiers for 400. Has a beach course that is only playable at this tournament.
Oh, Gold Eagle. What is Gold Eagle?
Correct. That
How-
gets you up to $500. And
Good jump.
you are only $100 back of Daryl at 600. Daryl, go ahead.
Let's go Canadian A tiers for 500.
Canadian A tiers for $500. East or West, you are in for a test.
Yeah, you didn't have these in very good order, did you? What is Falcon's Flight?
That is correct. That's a good one. What's wrong with that one?
I guess it was easy for me because I played that event.
That's yeah. So sometimes it depends who's
Yeah,
going to get
that's
that
true.
question. So that's back to you, Dina.
Okay, let's jump to Manitoba disc golfers. Let's go 500.
All right,
Straight up for the
Manitoba
500.
disc golfers for 500. Best
Oh, jeez.
disc golf dyer in all of Manitoba. Hopefully you get this one right.
Can you even say it?
Who is Dina?
Yes, that is correct. Who is Dinah Talgoy? It's the answer we were looking for there. So that brings us within $100.
You know you've made it when you become a Jeopardy question or Jeopardy answer.
Yes. So Daryl, back to you.
Okay, let's go AB disc golfers for 100.
AB disc golfers for 100. Known as the nicest guy in disc golf.
Who is Alex Penny?
That is correct. You're up.
You
to
keeping up?
$1,200 for Daryl, $1,000 for Dinah. Dinah, where would you like to go?
Let's do Manitoba Disc Golfers for 400.
Manitoba Disc Golfers for $400. The highest, this one was maybe one of the tougher ones, the highest rated female player in Manitoba, just female overall. And I thought maybe this one would be right up your alley, Dinah, because if you probably played at a tournament with this person. Daryl wants to count you down. Can you think of any great players in Manitoba?
I hope this is right. Who's Annika Wiebe?
All right, let's take a look at the answer there.
I'm sorry, Cam, if it's you.
Annika Wiebe,
Nice.
862. Nice pickup. That's $1,400 now. Go ahead.
She's really good. She did amazing at Amateur Worlds this past summer.
Nice.
I got to admit, that's a name I don't know.
There you go. And
Yeah.
that actually put you ahead, Dinah. You're now at $1,400 to Daryl's $1,200. Daryl, where would you like to go?
Let's go Alberta Disc Golfers for 200.
All right. AB Junior player, sponsored by Equine Discs, and loves to say, She Gong.
Who was Gavin Beamish?
That is correct. And we have a tie at $1,400. The board is back to you, Dinah.
So you still have 200 and 300 of Manitoba Disc Golfers.
Okay.
If that's where you want to stay.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that you've done one on
And then
4 and 5.
Canadian A tiers is done?
It is complete, yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's do Manitoba Disc Golfers 300.
All right, Manitoba Disc Golfers 300, MPO winner of the 2024 DGM Provincials Tournament.
Who is Marshall Taves?
That would be correct, and you have just taken the lead back at $1,700. So, Daryl, where would you like to go for the next question?
I'm
Or
gonna
next
stick
answer,
with,
I guess.
I'm going to stick with Alberta Disc Golfers for 300.
Go ahead. FPO, who once had a podcast with Paige Pierce.
That would be... Who is Joe Henderson?
Correct. That is the right answer, and we are now tied at $1,700.
Good exciting.
So, Dinah, where would you like to go? You still have Manitoba Disc Golfers for $200, or Alberta Disc Golfers starting at $400, and then chain out guests and catchphrases are open for game as well.
Okay. Let's just finish up Manitoba Disc Golfers.
Okay, Manitoba Disc Golfers for $200. He works right next door to Happy Land Disc Golf.
Who is Jason Tay?
That is correct. If you had said Jason I would have knocked you out, but you got it correctly. So $1,900, you've got the lead over Daryl's $1,700. Daryl, where would you like to go?
Let's go... Dylan say he's still waiting for a catchphrase. Oh, okay. Let's stick with Alberta Disc Golfers for 400.
Alberta Disc Golfers for $400.
Any daily doubles in here? No.
No, there are no daily doubles. We'll add that in the future.
Okay.
Some might call him King of the Firebird.
Who is Tim Plamondon?
That would be correct. Tim Plamondon, former, I guess still Mr. President, but former president of the
Yeah.
Edmonton Disc Golf Association. Dina, it's back to you.
Okay, let's try catchphrases for 100.
Catchphrases for 100. Gaga crazy.
What?
And
Was that
remember,
just
when
a
it comes to
few-
catchphrases, it's...
Hang on, Dina's talking. Sorry,
go
Dina.
ahead.
A couple weeks ago, who is Brian? I can't pronounce the last name. Henniger?
Yes, that is correct. Brian Henniger, Gaga crazy. We're giving you 100 points.
Did he
there.
say that?
He did. He said she was Gaga crazy. You just watch what Dylan puts in there. I'm sure there's going to be a ha-ha or something, right, Dylan? So good job on the catchphrases. Okay,
Yeah, I
Daryl,
wouldn't have
what
got
would you
that
like
one.
to go with?
Let's finish off Alberta Disc Golfers for 500.
All right. FPO player and TD of She's Up First.
Who is Kristen Swirls?
That is correct, Daryl. You're at $2,600. And Dina, you're at $2,000. Where would you like to go? We're all done Manitoba Disc Golfers, Alberta Disc Golfers, and Canadian A tiers. We're down to chain out guests and catchphrases.
Let's do catchphrases for 200.
Catchphrases for 200. Local dink and dunk. That could be a daily double. It
Yeah.
just feels local Dink and Dunk daily double.
Even Sam put it in the chat. Oh man, Dink and Dunk is going to be in the catchphrases, isn't it? Yeah, you're. And then Dylan said it has to be the 500. For 200, who said local Dink and Dunk?
I'll do better about arranging them if we do this again.
Yeah.
Okay, I recently heard that catchphrase, so it's definitely season 2.
Yes, we're on the right track.
Nailing it down to seasons. I'm impressed.
There's a lot of trouble going on over here in the...
Not full, right?
No.
I'm not going to pour it all in my power source again.
Empty.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of
We're going to have to start the timer.
It's not Lane, Brian Henry. I can't remember.
I don't want to give you a clue, but it might be fairly easy for me to get this answer because someone is quite associated with the podcast.
Yes. Could be someone that we recently partnered with.
Oh, the Cardinal disc golf guy. Kevin who's Kevin Fodart?
I would accept that. Fodry is the
Fodry.
correct answer, and you have it. Now we are tied at 22, or no, sorry, not tied. It's 2,200 for you, Dina. Daryl's at 2,600, so he's got a bit of a lead. Daryl, where do you want to go?
Let's do catchphrases for 300.
Catchphrases for 300. Horse feeder.
Who is Miguel Alvarado?
Yes, that would be correct. So let me just add your points there. Back to you, Dina.
Let's finish up catchphrases. 500.
Catchphrases 500. Jump in there. Muskoka layup.
Oh,
Think about the first word. Where would that be?
so definitely Ontario. Chris Oslin's.
Oh, that's not the answer we were looking for. Daryl, do you want to try and attempt the steal?
Who is Thomas Gilbert?
Yes, Thomas Gilbert is correct.
Famous for throwing, what was it, like a 500, 600 foot layup?
Yes.
And ended up going long just because it was an elevated tee pad. He wanted to lay up before he went to OB.
And I think even Daryl might have coined who coined the term? Someone did, but Thomas Gilbert, I would have accepted.
Yeah.
Spencer Young or yourself as well.
Yeah.
So we have catchphrases for 400 is left, and then chain out guests. Daryl, where do you want to go?
Let's go chain out guests for 100.
Chain out guests for 100. FPO winner of the RIP in 2024.
That would be who is Rebecca Dawn.
That's correct. Back to you, Dina. Where would you like to go? You have one more catchphrase left, or 200 through to 500 on chain out guests.
Let's finish up catchphrases 400.
Catchphrases for 400. Sorry, I laugh at myself. Chad Stantz.
Jeremy's laughing because I have a hard time with this name because I always call him Chance Stad.
You just gave away the answer, probably.
Oh, what?
If you take a look, what does it say?
Chad. Chad. What is? What? I'm confused on this question. Do you get this question, Dina?
Who is?
Is it Chance Stad?
That is correct.
What?
I would have also accepted Daryl because Daryl's the one who said it.
See, now I'm totally confused because I don't actually know what his name is. Is his name Chance? Or
It's Chance.
and what was the question then?
It was Chad
Stance.
Stantz.
Oh, sorry. Okay. See, that's what I mean. I don't know. I gave it away. Sorry.
Go ahead there, Daryl.
Let's do chain out guess for 200.
All right. Has a dog named Leia that he adopted at a fair in California.
Oh. Interesting. Has a dog named Leia adopted at a cafe? Oh, my goodness. No, time me out.
Okay, so I got to take off $200 from Daryl, right? Is that what I got to do? Or no, I haven't been
So,
doing that.
Dina and the chat,
'Cause
if
I
I
haven't
get, if
been
I get
doing
a
it.
question wrong, do I lose the amount of money that is up for?
I don't think I've been doing it yet.
know.
So I think I'll leave it because we'll have a final Jeopardy where you can bet. So,
Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure, but it's
Okay.
on you, Dina.
So
Has
do
a
you-
dog named Leia?
Yeah.
that he adopted at a fair in California.
If I stump you both on one, that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Think recency bias is what I would tell you there. As in the Jeopardy game, recency bias.
Was it California?
Yeah.
I can't even.
And if you're okay, I'm going to have to time you out if you don't have a guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of anyone.
So
The answer is Chatstat again.
Oh,
It just so
you
happened
can't
that
have
you
the same
had-
question.
Well, no, it was different questions.
yeah, okay.
Same answer. All right, so we have chain out guess for 300. This one is going to go to Dinah. Because you had just
Oh,
asked that.
well, hang on. She might not want 300.
Oh, sorry, 300, 400, or 500.
3, 4, or
Yeah.
500 left to
And
get.
to give you an idea, it's $2,600 for you right now and $3,500 for Daryl. So you have those three choices left.
okay.
Sam called
Yeah,
it
let's go.
the old double stump. Sorry, Dina. Which one do you want to go for?
Let's go 500.
500 chain out guests recently won the Egg Monster Tournament in New Zealand.
Who's Sophia Dunnicky?
Yeah, you got it. And Daryl, back to you. Do you want 300 or 400?
Let's go 300.
300. Rose Hill would be one of her home courses.
Who is Carrie Neal?
Yes, that is correct. That is the right answer. Let me give you your points. And we're going back to you, Dina. You have the last one here, and that is chain out guests for 400. This duo creates the best disc golf video content in Canada.
Duo. So both your names?
Video content, disc golf video content. I wouldn't say us. I wasn't that bold. I'm not taking that. I was going to say I should have qualified that. Sorry, the disc golf video content. If you're watching a Canadian disc golf video, like an actual
Not a podcast.
not a podcast. Yeah,
I think
so
that's what
video.
he's trying to say. He's
Yeah.
trying to give you a clue.
Ah.
Because I would have said chain out podcast on that question.
Well, besides us, we don't.
There,
I
even
hope
Sam.
who is Parked Pro?
Yes, that is the correct answer. I would have also accepted Matt Lysak and Andre Lauder. Now, I do know we're good, but I just didn't want to, really pump our tires that much. So we're at the end here, and what we have is, Dina, you're at $3,500, and Daryl, you're at $3,800. So we're going to go into Final Jeopardy. We're going to ask that question. You're going to be able to say
Right up there in the top. Yeah.
how much you want to wager on it. Now, I'll have Daryl write down his number. You can probably just shout out your number. We trust you. We're on an honor system here. And you get to see the question first, or do you not get to see the question first?
You get to see the question first, right?
Yes. Okay, we will show the question
I
first.
believe.
Yeah, you have to be able to know what you're betting, right?
I think you get to see a category.
Oh, the category. Well, the category would be disc golf.
Real drive.
So now that you know the category is
That's
disc
right.
golf.
Dina's right. You get to see the category.
All right, we'll work with that next time. I'll write it down.
So which part of disc golf? Can you give us
I don't remember what the question is until we see it. So this
Thanks,
is
Alex.
Yes. So blindly voting on how much dollars you're going to do. You have it in your mind how many you're going to bet of your $3,500. Daryl, how many are you willing to wager to try and win this one?
I mean,
And don't tell her out loud. You have to tell me and we write it down.
Well, how am I going to tell you without telling Dina?
Okay, you
Just
got to
let
write
me
it down.
write it down then.
I'll tell you when Daryl.
See, I don't know if I really want to win this or if I just want to go big, because there is strategy into how much you bet in the Final Jeopardy.
All right.
That even if I lose, I still win.
Well, you
Or
can
maybe
see.
not. Maybe not, because
You don't know if you're going to get the question right. Because you both will have to write down your questions.
Right. Is it really this hard?
You just pick a number. What are you going to bet? Okay, that's what you're betting?
Yeah.
Okay, Daryl's got his down. Do you know how much you're going to bet on this one?
Yeah.
You got it locked in? Okay, so let's see the Final Jeopardy question.
Oh, so Dina doesn't get to tell you?
No, she doesn't have to. Oh, I guess she could tell me. Oh, she could tell me.
Because she could make it up.
But you don't trust her?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
No, you can say it. This
You can
point,
say it
can't
because
you?
he's written.
No. Actually, no. You're right. In the real Jeopardy, you don't. you don't get to reveal how much you did until you answer the question, right?
That's right. Yes. So she's going to know how much she bet. She had $3,500.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
I know how much you bet.
Right.
So that keeps it fair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the final Jeopardy question.
I'll trust you, Dina. Oh.
So final Jeopardy, you're good.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Deep cut chain out guest. Oh, I guess I did get to. That's the category. Now we know it does work out that way.
Oh, you want to change my bet? No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
so
200.
let's see the question now.
So who's going to answer first?
You write yours down. She'll shout hers
Oh,
out.
okay, yeah.
That'll keep it fair.
Yeah.
So I put PDGA number 142752, 47 rounds, 13 wins, sponsored, Jackfish Lake winner. Okay, Daryl's going to write down his answer. You can think about your answer there, and I can go do.
Don't do that. You won't get banned.
Okay, all right. Okay, sounds good there. Daryl has his answer written down. Dina, do you have an answer selected yet?
Sorry, I'm trying to remember. So Jackfish.
Can you put that in the form of a question? I just wrote down the...
Yeah, so PDGA 142752.
Who won Gold Eagle?
Sam put in the chat generic non-copyright game show music.
Do. And when you have an answer, let me know, and then I'm going to start with Daryl's to reveal them. So you just kind of get your answer locked in. Because Daryl was ahead, so
I can say it.
Yeah, when it's time. Do you have one locked in?
I'm just trying to think of. I remember seeing the sign up for Gold Eagle.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember.
If you're going down the route that you're going down, if this person won Gold Eagle, we would have had them on the podcast. So it would have been a... Oh, yeah, because the category is deep cut, chain out guest.
I just didn't want it to be easy. So,
you're right. I was just thinking that it wasn't just a generic person. It was actually someone we've interviewed.
Yes.
But that is what the category is. It's a chain out guest.
Look at that.
So if you can think back to any of our A-tier recaps, who would have been one of those people?
My brain's not working.
That's okay.
I know there's a higher rated player in Saskatchewan. I think Brandon Redicop.
Brandon Redicop. Who is Brandon Redicop? Okay, that is your answer. And we're going to get Daryl to shout out his answer.
Who is Thomas Germain?
Thomas Germain, otherwise Thomas Germain as well. Daryl, how much did you wager on this one?
I wagered $200.
$200. And Dina, how much did you wager on this one?
Everything.
30 went all out.
I like it.
$3,500. Okay, we can reveal the answer.
I might not be right.
The answer was Terry Heiser Baum Hong. So that's going to put Daryl at $3,600.
Didn't specify MPO. I like it, Jeremy.
And then Dina, that's going to put you at $0.
MPO, and I saw that final round with her and Park Pro did with her and Bailey.
Yes.
Or those final holes.
Right. Yeah. So I figured the thing is that the answer there could have been 2. So you really had to look at how many wins.
Yeah.
Thomas Germain said that was his first A-tier win when he was on the show.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had that many wins. But anyways, that was your first episode of Around the Basket Chain Out Disc Golf Jeopardy. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through it in a timely fashion. It wasn't a lot of lag, wasn't a lot of, like the other competitions that we've done. Yeah, that's kind of tricksy. Great final Jeopardy question.
Ah, there Sam. You go. And I think, Sam, did you have it? Did you know who it was? You can let us know.
Yeah.
But, that's what I had for that, Daryl.
Are you going to be able to do this every week?
I think I can do this. I don't know how. There's a lot of episodes. It's good that we're starting this in season 2, episode 60.
It doesn't have to be about chain out because that gives me an unfair advantage. But I like the fact that you had the Manitoba disc golfers because I wouldn't have got. Is it Annika Wiebe? Annika Wiebe. I wouldn't have guessed her. And the first player that you mentioned, what was the $100 question?
Brian Freese.
Brian
Was
Freeze.
it Brian Freese?
He was the 2016
Right.
PGGA.
I I would have probably guessed Brian. Sorry, you're not seeing. I would have guessed Brian Freese just because he's the only male or MPO disc golfer.
Funny is
you didn't specify MPO either.
No.
So,
but I did put.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess.
But the other thing is he told us that on the podcast, I think. So that's where it really taxes our memories. Because do we even remember everything we've said and what everybody told us? So,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys humoring me with that. That was great. And Daryl, how do we want to wrap this one up?
You can carry on talking because I got to get out of this slideshow.
So, Dina, I hope that you've enjoyed your first experience on the Chain Out / Around the Basket podcast. And we definitely appreciate the discs you've dyed for us, you supporting us. You're always in the comments and everything else. It's been great that way. And as you know, if you've got anything that you think will help make it better, just let us know. And we should give you a moment like we do with all our guests. Is there anything you want to say before we let you go?
Oh wow, it's my Instagram.
Yeah, if you wanna follow Dina, go Dina Dyes Discs on Instagram. Look at that Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous discs.
And back to you, Dina. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, just again, if follow me on Instagram would be great. I'll try to be a little bit better at posting. This winter has been interesting, dying lots. This cold has really made me hibernate.
Yep.
Yeah, we know that Winnipeg colds can get bad.
Yeah. Like my posts. Again, check out my stuff at Disc Republic. If you see something or certain color combo you'd like to see, let me know. I have lots of got a few extra spares just lying around the house that are just we're just waiting to be dyed and get some pretty color on them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we let you go, you kind of teased to us that prior, yesterday you had a disc that you dyed. So there's your glue bed there.
Yep. So that's after I laid down all the diacetone kind of mixture.
Right.
And then someone said in the comments that like glue beds, it's like a living thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of start out, I'm going to definitely do this. And then just, sometimes the glue just kind of spreads a little differently and it's just like, okay, it looks like it's going in this direction.
Right.
So kind of have to be a little, pivots, and you need to do a little bit of changing and a little bit of a game plan.
Yeah. So that was a disc that you set yesterday?
Yep. So I pulled it out about just before 9:00 my time.
Okay.
Central time.
Do you have it there?
So I have the disc in front of me.
I'd love to see it.
And so I've been loving to dye this plastic. It's the from Axiom, the Prism Plasma.
Okay.
Plastic.
Yeah.
And it's just got this gorgeous like light gray pearl look. So in the sunlight, I know this is just going to be gorgeous. So this is the back of it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the original color.
Right. Yeah.
So this is the dye.
Nice.
That looks awesome. Wow. That's cool to see the steps.
It's an Axiom rim, but I still have the I use electrical tape to mask and protect the colored rim, because those colored rims will actually take on a bit of dye.
Oh wow.
Or certain colors will really take on dye. So I can unveil it for you.
That is amazing.
I think Jeremy mentioned it earlier about the stamp not taking on the dye. I noticed that quite a lot of your discs, you leave those stamps on. Do you ever completely take the stamps off and just have it as a plain disc? Or do you like leaving the stamps on?
You can. I actually like the stamps.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I throw a lot of Discraft. And then a couple of years ago, I was dyeing a lot of Discraft. Some of their stamps are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the foil will be like little hearts or little like clovers. They also have a money foil
Yeah.
Okay.
stamp, or the money foil.
Yeah.
Yeah, just love it. So
Yeah. If it's
and
something
then
that
I'm
good, you
gonna
want to
take
leave it on.
off
Yeah.
Okay.
and show off what the rim looks
Oh,
like.
yeah.
So
And I see. I couldn't tell. I thought it might have
I'm
been
seeing
a
this for the
black
first
rim.
time.
Oh, that goes so well together.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice work.
That's awesome.
So I don't think you couldn't have a better advertisement than that right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm sure as soon as you put that one up, it's going to disappear very quickly.
Yeah.
So that's
Perfect.
Cool. Well, thanks, Tina.
Yeah.
Just one last thing. So Sam, I think it was,
Yeah.
who said Flame Scarlet was giving him issues
Yeah.
Okay.
or just not working. This reddish orange is Flame Scarlet.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a combo of the royal blue,
Yeah.
Flame Scarlet, and a color called Deep Orange for the orange kind of streaks.
Nice.
Yeah. And so you
Sorry,
managed to
trying to
stay
get
away from
to
purple
get
and
it
pink
in.
on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Awesome. There you go. We got to see a disc die from beginning right to finish.
Yeah,
to
all in
completion.
like
all
a
in
2-minute span.
just like that.
If only it was that quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciated having you on, Dina. We thank you for your support in the Patreon. We always like seeing when you are commenting. You know, sometimes you said that you're either dyeing discs in the basement while you're listening to us in the background. So we appreciate when you do take the time to comment. And we thank you for your support of Patreon as well.
And when you
Oh,
take
you're
that
welcome.
envy, Daryl, do you
Highlight
think
of
she
my
could help
Wednesdays.
us with that?
What's that?
Do you think she could help us tell us what to do with that envy?
Well, I mean, if you were to throw that MV, Dina, on your favorite course, your favorite local course,
Maybe your dink and dunk at Happy Land?
your favorite local dink and dunk,
You're gaga crazy about that disc.
because it looks so sweet. If you were to throw that, maybe you're putting it, maybe you're just in that nice 15 to 25 foot range, somewhere around there. You're right there. You've got it in your hand. It's not cold anymore. It's a nice sunny day. And you take that disc and you throw it at the basket. There's no chance, because it's a Dina dyed disc.
There is no way, Daryl. It could never.
It would never, Dina. What would it never do?
Do you know what it wouldn't do? It wouldn't.
Chain out.
Chain out! Thanks,
Tina.
everybody. Thanks, Dina.